Hey cats, what's happening? Beautiful day outside, and it was a very nice day for a ride. You get a little, might even get a little sun today, little tan on the arms. Well, that's a good thing, because it's been nothing but rain here. Topic for discussion today: do you fear the 1% outlaw bikers? Let's say you're out today riding, and like there's a lot of bikes out on the road today. Say you go to a bar, you stop at a bar for a drink, you stop at a club or something, and you go in there, and the place is full of patched 1% bikers. Are you afraid? Do you turn around and leave? Do you go tremble in a corner somewhere? It's a good question because I think it's a real thing. I mean, one percenters, they kind of have a unique appearance to them. And it can be a little intimidating. They got the rocker and the bottom rocker and the patch, and depending on what club they're in, some are more notorious than others. Some of them have a more of a track record. So, what's your thought about that? Of course, some of you guys might be patched members, so that's not a problem. Unless you walk into the wrong bar where there's another club in there that you might have a beef with. Really, I'm not sure that, to me, I don't think there's a whole lot to be afraid of. I used to hang out at this bar, biker bar, and there was a fella in there, and he used to tell everybody, and he was a biker, but he had this paranoid thing, and he'd always say, man, if you're ever in here and a patched club member comes in the door, just head out the back door right now. Just go straight to the back door and get the heck out of here. Don't hang around, because it's bad news, man. It's real bad news. I never took his word for it, and there was patched club members that came in there and had a good time and left, and it wasn't a problem to anybody. I don't remember one situation where I was at the bar one night and a patched 1%er came in by himself. He was kind of a short, stocky guy. Looked like he could take care of himself pretty well. And he saddled right up to the bar, and he started throwing down the shots, like one right after the other. Well, I wasn't really focused on him. I didn't pay a whole lot of attention because I was doing my own thing and enjoying my time there. But after about an hour or so, he spun around in his chair, and there was a table behind him, and there was probably about 4 yuppie bikers sitting there, just having a draft beer and just laughing and not causing a lot of trouble or anything. But he turned his focus on them. And he was one of these guys that, an angry drunk, when you get to that certain level, a tip in the bottle, all of a sudden something clicks and you get really nasty. And he just started staring them down. And, they noticed after a while, they said, yeah, there's 1%er up there. He's staring us down, And a 1%er says, what are you looking at? Well, they didn't know what to do, And this outlaw, he was gonna stir up some trouble with these guys. Well, I think they realized right away that it wasn't going to end well for them, so they kind of hustled right out the door, left their tip on the table, and were gone. And I think the guy at the bar eventually just packed up and left without any incident. He didn't start a fight or anything, but he made a big scene there. It's the only time I ever saw anything like that in all my years of riding. And I've been riding for a long time. So here's the deal. just because you're in a club doesn't make you a bad guy. It's like anything, It's like no matter where you are, what you do, even if you go to church, there's always a couple of bad apples that are going to stir up some dissension, that are going to stir up some trouble. And it's the same with a club. You can always find a couple of bad apples, but there's some really nice guys there. The key is to just show respect. Just show them a little bit of respect. Let them do their thing, and you do yours. And 9 times out of 10, there's not a problem at all. Now, I would say one thing, I wouldn't walk up there and slap the guy on the back and, hey, how you doing, man? I really love your club, man. You guys are awesome. That might be a nice way to start a scene. So you don't really want to do that, but it might be a good, if you felt up to it, I'm sure they wouldn't be against you buying them around. You know what I'm saying? That would just show a little bit of respect. That's all. So really, buy my book. Nothing to be afraid of. Now you have seen some stories on the news of incidents, and they're far and few between, where skirmishes or outbreaks happen at these bars between feuding clubs. I don't recall anything in the recent history here. Maybe there is, maybe there isn't. I don't know around the world, but in my part of town, no, things are just quiet as can be and have been for many, many years. You never see any incidents in the news, in the paper, or even hearsay where the one percenters have caused an issue. In fact, a lot of times I think they do good. They raise money for people, fallen brothers, somebody that might be injured or hurt. They're good at raising money to help that family and things like that. They're good people. I told a story a long time ago about a bar that I went to and walked in there, and the whole bar was full of patched club members from a I wouldn't say a local club, but in the area where I was, that club was local, and that was sort of their clubhouse. I didn't think anything about it, and they were kind of off over by the pool tables and that, and I was over by the bar. And eventually one of them came up and asked me to talk to their president, who was seated at a booth over at the other side of the bar. And I went over there and sat down, talked to the guy for a little while, and it turned out they were really nice fellas, and they bought me a drink, and they invited me to one of their club parties, which I couldn't go to because of conflicting schedule, but I was honored that they offered that to me. And they turned out to be a bunch of really nice guys. I didn't have any problem at all. So just putting that out there, no reason to be afraid. If you are afraid of them, then maybe you shouldn't be going to these clubs where you might run into them. I'm sorry about that, because you're missing out on life. That's all I got for today, guys. I hope you liked the video. If you haven't yet, subscribe and give me a thumbs up. Share it with your buddies. And I'm ready to ride again. So let's saddle up. Till next time, ride hard and die free.